I just finished The Inheritance by Kate Horan and I want to talk about it. I gave this book 4 stars. I'm honestly leaning towards like a 4.5. It was really good. I read this very fast as well. I feel like I would pick this up and then suddenly I would have read like a quarter of the book out of nowhere, which never happens to me. Before I get into it, this is definitely like a thriller mystery. I would say it's definitely more mystery than thriller, but there are parts of this book where I felt that like adrenaline on the edge of my seat thriller feeling. We're essentially following our 2 main characters. We've got Isabel and we've got Meg, and we have their point of views, and they have completely separate stories. Like they are intertwined, but they're such different people. So interesting to read about. We've got Isabel, who's part of the Ashworth family. They're controversial property developers, basically. And we've got Meg, who is a journalist, and she wants to basically expose the Ashworths for all the dodgy shit that they've been doing behind the scenes. In the midst of all that, we've got Christmas Day. And so Isabel and her siblings actually receive a DNA test each. We don't know who it's from, and we don't know what it's going to uncover. So it's kind of about what that is all going to bring to the surface. It's one of those books that keeps you on the edge of your seat. You want to know what's happening next, so it's not a task to get through. Like, you're constantly wanting to keep reading so you can find out more. And if you know me, I love a book that's based in Australia, especially when it's in New South Wales, and this was that. And I love reading about it because I love when a little suburb pops up and I'm like, I know that place, I go there all the time. This book jumps between different point of views between 2 characters. So we've got Meg and then we've got Isabel. And I usually tend to prefer one of the POVs more than the other. However, not the case here. I felt like every time it switched, I was still excited. I wanted to know what was happening with the other girl. And I think as well, because they're such polar opposites, it's very interesting to read a book like that. When one point of view is from the point of someone who is completely different to the other point of view, it just keeps it interesting. The writing style in this as well, very easy to read, very interesting. There's not too much description where you kind of like, okay, like let's move on. It's actually like very fast paced. There were so many moments when I was reading this and gasping or going like, what? What do you mean? I won't say anything else, don't want to spoil anything, but this was a really good book and the premise of the story was so cool. I was really glad that the book actually held up to my expectations because I was really excited for this plot to be as good as I thought it was going to be, and it was. If you are into mysteries, thrillers, family mystery, DNA tests, things like that, just read this book.